Alright, welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here with Nikita Gunkowicz. We're here at the balcony of one of our offices. In this video, we want to talk about ego, how it is the enemy, and how it can literally ruin your life. So, if you like the idea of being your own boss, if you like money, and if you like the idea of being free, but you haven't achieved it yet, this video might just be able to kind of point you into the right direction. It might not be super comfortable for you to watch it. It might maybe even trigger you a little bit, but at the end of the day, the end justifies the means. So let's get started. Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a boring dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money, and just enjoying life? No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you. So here's to your freedom. So the first point we kind of want to talk about is, if you're in the beginning of your journey, right? You're probably watching this channel because you like the idea of having your own business, but chances are maybe you haven't started yet, right? And I feel like a lot of beginners, and I'd be curious to have your thoughts on that too, a lot of beginners kind of think like, oh, I know that already, I have the information, and it's just so-and-so and this and that's holding me back. And we always say it like this: if you already knew how to make 10K a month, you would already be making it. Maybe you'll know it in theory, maybe you know the broader concept, but you don't know the exact steps that you gotta take, because otherwise you'd be doing it, unless you hate money, which you hopefully don't. And yeah, that's a big issue. We see this so much, especially nowadays, I feel like with this whole surplus of information. I mean, all the information is out there. You can read a book on how to make your first 10K. You can watch all kinds of YouTube. The information is out there, and then people kind of gather all that information. They follow so-and-so guru and this and that guy on Instagram, and they like all their posts, and then they're like, oh, I already know. I already know that. But they haven't done it yet, because usually it's their ego holding them back, because they think, oh, they already know, and then they'll try to figure it out themselves, and they never get there, which is a very sad thing. And I think you probably have a lot of people like that on your call as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, we often talk to people, through our application process, that want to start our program. But for some reason, there's something that literally what's holding back is just the ego, you know, and that's the reason why they can't or won't join our program, because literally their ego is holding back. For example, we had a good example literally just today. We had this one guy on the call, and he applied around June, July to become our client. But back then he didn't want to go through our application process, and he said to Nico, he shouted at Nico.
Nico's one of our team members.
Yeah, exactly. Completely shouted at Nico, yo, what is this? I don't want to do this. This is unserious. What are you doing? I can do this myself.
As a funny side note, there are some people who get really, really annoyed that they have to fill out an application. Mm-hmm. They're like, I just want to buy. Like, I have money for you. You don't like money? And they kind of like tell us we're bad business people, but we're like, yo, we don't want to work with anybody. Fill out the application. Yeah. And even the application itself is kind of like a sift-through process. If people have too much ego, we instantly decline their applications. And then I get angry messages, or somebody angry on the phone, like, I was willing to spend thousands of dollars. Like, yeah, we don't... If we don't want to work with you, we don't want to work with you.
100%. He literally also tried to explain Nico how business works, And the reason why, for example, he had this high ego, because he started the coaching business, got like 2 clients within like a couple of weeks, but it was just clients from his network, and he thought, okay, if I can 2 clients in a couple of weeks, I know how this works. Yeah. Now the end of the story is 3 months later he applied. Said, Nico, I'm so sorry. I was so dumb. I got no clients, got no results. And I need to be a client now. Please take me, please, please, please. And yeah, then of course we took him.
And here's the thing, by the way, it's not like we're making fun of these people or anything. We're pointing the finger at you. I mean, I have situations where my ego comes through. You have situations where your ego comes through. I think that's very, very natural. And in that specific case, kudos to that person to be able to take a deep breath, put some distance in between, and say, okay, you know what, my ego made me do all these things. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. And here's the kicker. Here's the actual valuable lesson of that. Because that person was able to swallow his pride and be like, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. Can you help me? Mm-hmm. Now that person is getting great value and is going to be able to actually build a legit online coaching business.
100%. Certainly, he'll get amazing results right now.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like, it's totally okay to have ego at some point, but it's not okay to stay like that, right? You basically have to put some awareness into it and say, okay, that was my ego. And a similar situation happened last week, actually, where it was actually also Nico who talked to him. Yeah, we talked to an influencer, a very big influencer, a couple of, I think, 600,000 or 700,000 followers on Instagram, verified badge, and so on. And that influencer actually wanted to have our help. And he's like, oh, you know, can you help me monetize my list? Can you help me also become an online coach? And then, you know, yeah, sure, let's jump on a call. And he spent the entirety of that call trying to convince us that his net worth is 1.2 billion. Meanwhile, should we talk about what his girlfriend does for a living? Should we? Yeah, maybe we shouldn't mention it. I don't know. But anyways, like, he clearly, I mean, where would he have a 1.2 billion network? He's doing like brand deals for, you know, he gets like 10% brand deals from protein shakes and whatnot.
He does affiliate marketing for casinos.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like, we wouldn't mind. It's not like we would judge that person and be like, bad, you were bad or something. But I mean, if he tried the entire call that he had with us to convince us how great he is and that his net worth is 1.2 billion, in the meanwhile, if he had just swallowed his pride and just actually asked for help and actually kind of asked what he could do, around this time he could already probably make his first money, but he didn't because his ego made him, you know, just try to tell us how cool he is, and at the end of the day, we didn't want to work with him, and he damaged himself. Like, his ego damaged his life. Like, what did he get from trying to tell us that he makes 1.2 billion as a net worth? He got nothing. Like, it doesn't pay for the roof over your head. It doesn't pay you for a freedom lifestyle, trying to convince others that you're cool. So ultimately, very, very bad thing. Now, talking about Instagram, by the way, if you haven't done so yet, give us a follow. We're going to put Nikita's Instagram account and my Instagram account here. You probably have your phone in your hand right now. We're posting daily value nuggets on there. We're replying to DMs all the time. Personally, this is also crazy. People still don't believe that it's me. So many times somebody messages me and is like, hey, Max's assistant, and then I like send them a video and they're like, oh my God. I still reply to DMs personally. Yeah, we're posting daily value nuggets on their live streams, etc., etc. Highly recommend you give a follow to both of us. And yeah, so in the beginning, ego screws you over quite a lot, actually. And again, like, to kind of summarize, if you already knew how to make so and so much money a month, but you're not making it, then maybe you do need help, and that is totally fine. Asking for help is not an issue. And then, you know, a similar situation was for me with my very first business. If you might remember me from my first business, I had an online coaching business for dating advice and relationship advice that helped me make multiple 7 figures a year. And it was around 2016, 2017, where I was really like, I was like the guy that had just surpassed everybody else. I had the biggest brand, I made the most money, I had the fastest growth and the biggest brand, and I kind of was surrounded by everybody telling me how great everything is and how good I am and how I'm so-and-so and this and this. And of course, that was both like publicly, but also in my immediate environment. I had 2 assistants that were doing, that were helping me with the video editing. Of course, they didn't say when I said something wrong. They would just say yes, and of course, and great idea, Max. And I literally was in that situation for, I think, almost 2 years. And what happened within these 2 years was I felt very good about myself because I was surrounded by yes sayers and everybody told me how great I was. But in reality, guess, dear esteemed viewer, how much I progressed while everybody was telling me how great I was. Well, I didn't really progress at all. I was still making the same kinds of amount of money that I was making through these 1-2 years. And of course, the brand did its growth, but at the same time, one day I kind of like got out of my bedroom and I stepped into the living room of my back then apartment, and I would see like my 2 team members just hustling there, and they're like, good morning, Max. Of course, Max. And I'm like looking at them and I'm like, they're not gonna tell me to step up. I mean, you know, they're nice guys. I'm like, they're not gonna push me to the next level. They're nice guys. They'll do what I tell them to do. And everybody else that I was collaborating with, I had surpassed them. They're like, you're the best, great. And then that was actually that moment where around a couple of weeks later, I got closed by our now business mentors and business partners. And once they closed me, they're like, okay, you're making so and so much money, we can help you make even more. And then they gave me like the first task of preparing my new program back then. And I was giving them the task, I was finishing it, I'm like, there you go, you know, Max strikes again. and I'll never forget it.
Drop the value.
It's just like, there you go, guys, never seen anything like that, didn't you? And they're like, what the is this? Oh, this is the worst I've ever seen. Are you stupid? And like this is how they work, you know. They're like the insults just started coming in through WhatsApp, and I'm like, whoa, do they even know who they're talking to? And of course, at first I felt bad and I felt mad at them, but after 5 to 10 minutes, I'm like, hold on a second, Max. This is exactly what you've missed over the last 2 years. People telling you what's wrong. And I'm not talking about insults, okay? You can obviously do that without insults as well, but generally speaking, someone calling me out, hey, this is wrong, step the hell up, is exactly what I needed. And that then was the period of around 2018, 2019, 2020, where I put it into next gear, ended up growing as a person, growing as an entrepreneur, growing with my brand, made the second business, which is this one, that also started making me multiple 7 figures a year. And that is literally the reason. Long story short, I needed to get off my ego, and I needed to open myself up for criticism, for positive criticism, and for constructive criticism. Yeah.
100%. And that's pretty much the stage that you talked about. It's often like the stage that our clients also get the ego involved.
Yeah.
You know, with this beginner ego that I talked about in the beginning. But we get our clients also that we get to 10, 20K per month. That's also often the point where also the ego now comes in. I think, damn, they made everything. They're making 10, 20K per month. They don't put in the work anymore as they did before, you know. In the beginning, they executed properly, they took the action, and it's exactly also the biggest game changer then, what brings them into 100K per month, right, is literally just, again, destroying the ego again, as bad as it sounds, and to make them execute again as if they're a beginner, so they can obviously work properly to get to 6 figures again.
Exactly, because the thing is, like, getting to your first 10 to 20K, that's like the bulk of the work. Getting from 10, 20K to 50K a month, that's easy. Like you've already done the bulk of the work, and that's what we're doing with our advanced clients. I mean, we have a ton of advanced clients right now operating between 50 and 100K, and we've kind of like worked on them over the last couple of weeks to get them from the 20K to 50, 100K, because we, like you said, like they had a certain ego, like, oh, I already know how it works, right? Exactly the same as someone who's at 0, oh, I already know. But in reality, it's like if you already knew it, you would already have it, but you don't. So we kind of have to rebuild them up from scratch, and it's usually always those clients that are getting back into being humble, that are then able to scale relatively quickly to their first 30K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month, and beyond that. And it's just like a continuous process, exactly like you said. And so at the end of the day, I guess no matter where you are, it is important to be open for feedback, and it is important to understand that it's absolutely no problem to ask for help. I mean, even people that are absolutely at their top, you know, the Michael Jordans, the Lewis Hamiltons, all these people, they still have trainers, they still have coaches. In fact, they're the most coachable of them all, because otherwise they wouldn't be at the top. So if Lewis Hamilton or Michael Jordan back then still had coaches, even as they were 5 times, 6 times world champions, well, then you should also still have a coach. And so will I always have a coach until the very day I draw my last breath. And that's very important for you to know. So that is basically all you have to know in terms of ego. Ego is the enemy, all right? Step off your ego horse. Whoa, swallow your pride, and then put some choo-choo horsepowers on the track. It really is that simple. So when you say you're ready to get started with your own freedom business, be it from scratch or you want to scale it up from 10 to 20 to 50K a month, then we can book a free consulting call with you. And all you have to do is you click that link down in the description. We're going to put a link there. You can book a call with Nikita or with me directly or with an expert from our team. On that call, we'll look at your situation. We'll see where you are. Are you completely at the beginning? You have no clue. You feel a little lost. You feel overwhelmed. You don't know what it is that you could be offering. That call is for you. If you're a little bit advanced already, you say you're already making some money, but you want to do it properly. You're seeing our clients' results making 10, 20, 50, 100K a month. And you also want to be free as an online coach. That call is for you as well. Link down in the description. You can fill out the application there. As we've mentioned it before, the application takes you around 2 minutes to fill that out. It's a little bit of information for us to see if you're a good fit or not. And yeah, that's basically all you got to do, right?
100%. See you there.
See you there. Talk to you very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.
I'm a personal trainer in the gym, and I do fitness. Fitness is my niche. I closed over 10 clients, I believe 11 or 12 clients, and became the trainer with the most clients in my gym. All thanks to FBM. Like, literally. Yeah, I have education like with my mentor offline, but the things that I learned here, insane. I changed my life like so much during this couple of months. Joined the program, joined FBM, moved out of my parents' place literally 10 days after that. And I just want to say thanks to all the coaches, thanks to everybody in the community.